Nature has long provided shelter for wildlife. Everything from trees to bushes, caves, crevices, rocks, even water are all forms of shelter, which is also known as cover. That's because wildlife may use a rock or tree to cover themselves from predators. Along with food, water, space, and the arrangement thereof, cover is essential in any wildlife habitat. If it's not there, animals won't stick around long. Humans have manipulated and encroached upon many wildlife habitats over time. Animals like the lesser prairie chicken, Zuni bluehead sucker, and the jumping mouse are all struggling to survive because they don't have the cover they once had to protect against predators and environmental conditions. To help New Mexico's wildlife survive and thrive, the New Mexico Habitat Stamp Program was created in 1991. Although all the elements of habitat are very important, today we'll focus on cover. Dale Hall, the Habitat Stamp Coordinator for the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish, gives insight on the program, the significance of cover, and what habitat managers are doing to provide cover for wildlife.
There's four main components to habitat. That's that food, water, cover, space, and then of course it's all got to be arranged, because there's no sense having an ocean of water with no food in it, because you won't have habitat. All you have is water. Just like on the San Juan here, we've got a lot of good water, and we've got good food produced here, and we've got space, and we provide that space by stocking and by harvesting. But one of the components that can improve the fisheries habitat here is cover. And so we are attacking that cover issue and trying to do something about that.
Cover is not a limiting factor for some of New Mexico's wildlife, but for others, it's critical.
They have to have cover to survive, because every form of wildlife is a meal for the next form and next higher level, next higher trophic level. And fish are no different. If they don't have some place to hide, then they'll become a meal for something else in that food chain. So cover is very important.
Since its start in 1991, the Habitat Stamp Program has funded more than 154 riparian area improvements and has improved 10,586 plus acres all around the state to provide better shelter for wildlife. Fish need help too. Recently, the Habitat Stamp Program helped to fund a project that places large boulders in the San Juan River in northwestern New Mexico, so trout can find protection from avian predators, as well as a much-needed place to rest.
This is the San Juan River in northern New Mexico. It is a destination trout fishery. We have people from around the world that come to visit the San Juan every year. It's one of the most utilized trout fisheries in the western United States. And in recent years, we've seen changes in flows and things along those lines. And we've been trying to work with other groups and agencies to improve habitat within the river channel to kind of offset some of these flow changes, and also to help mitigate sediment from the surrounding arroyos and canyons. And one of the things that we've been doing is we've been working on in-stream structures within the river.
So what we did is we added more cover out here in terms of boulders, woody debris jams, big cottonwood trees that we anchored into the bank of the river. We used a track hoe to dig out deeper holes. We did some shaping in the river to create deeper water, to provide that depth where fish could go down to lower depths in the water and make them less vulnerable to an avian predator just scooping them out of the water. And then, of course, the rocks, they can hide in and around them and the trees. So that was really one of our big objectives there, was just to give them some place to hide out in the river.
Rainbow trout and brown trout both have certain habitat requirements. And adding complexity, adding cover, adding resting lanes, adding feeding lanes with these structures all improve the trout habitat that's within the channel. You can have, water, food, resources, but cover and habitat are a key part of it also.
The Habitat Stamp Program diagnoses these limiting factors for the species of concern and initiates projects to help them. Thanks to the Habitat Stamp Program, New Mexico's wildlife has helped to survive and thrive.
New Mexico is the only state with a fully developed Habitat Stamp Program. For more information on the program and to get involved as a volunteer, log on to wildlife.state.nm.us and click on the Conservation tab.